Let's start with just saying a few words about who am I, who I am. My name is Fernando Angulo. I'm head. Actually, I'm the senior market research. I was for a long time the head of communications, head of partnerships, but right now I'm into data. I'm into research. I'm into this data world. One of the main reasons is because the numbers are there. We have tons of data, and we can avoid. I can help avoid companies to pronounce, to mention such words as I think, I believe, I consider, because we have the data to show, okay, these are the numbers, these are the facts, so there's no questions here. But that's the good part, right? There is a bad and ugly part about competitive intelligence, competitive benchmarking as well, which is inside of competitive intelligence as well. So, what is competitive benchmarking? Um, in a few words, well, it's basically is having a helicopter view of what your organization is doing in comparison with other organizations that are similar to yours, or is against your competitors and the market overall. So that helicopter view that you have is really important to identify the weaknesses, the strengths of the whole market, and to identify where exactly you are in that field, which is incredible for growth and for strategic planning. So for doing that, we need to say as well that, okay, that's the good thing. We already have a structured process of competitive benchmarking. We have insights on competitors' internal processes, which is the process benchmarking. We have the insights on competitors' business models, which is the strategic benchmarking, ideal for planning. And then we have the performance benchmarking, which is also insight about competitor competitors' performance indicators. So in this case, everything is about getting insights to pull the data out and to understand, okay, what I'm going to do next, how I'm going to be reacting to the changes on the industry, or how flexible do I need to be in order to improve the budget, the marketing budget for the next year, the whole company budget for the next year or the next or for years to come. Well, that's the good part. So we have a workflow. We have really interesting part steps to follow. And for doing this, we're going to be seeing today the methodology, how to perform a competitive benchmarking with an example, real life example. I'm going to be giving you all the hints here. I'm going to be showing you how to identify competitors, not in the classical way. We're going to be seeing different ways to do it. Then we're going to be going straight to the competitive benchmark workflow. And then we're going to see, of course, the market research step by step with search performance, gap analysis, link profile analysis, social media analysis, and the last key takeaways. In all these steps, I'm going to be showing you how to perform the benchmarking with the social media, with the search performance. So let's start with the methodology. What we're going to be seeing today. First of all, we need to understand what aspects needs to be analyzed. And here we have several tools and data sets to measure that. Let's go with the with the first five aspects that I'm going to be sharing with you today. The first one is market research. We're going to be performing that, a search performance to see, okay, what is the reason why and how the people are searching your business, your products, and how that's increasing not only for your own niche, but for the whole industry. And of course, we're going to be doing the gap analysis and content opportunities, then link profile analysis, social media analysis. So if some of these words sounds really strange for you, don't worry. We're going to be not going into very in depth in all of them. You just need to see the numbers, how they are growing, and I'm going to give and I'm going to be sharing with you some pro tips on how to understand them better. The data sets and tools that we're going to be using, of course, is market and traffic data for all these presentation, which is the most important data that we have, which is clickstream. What is clickstream? So clickstream is your digital path, is a user digital path that analyze where the users have been, how they are searching, how they're performing a search, their social analysis. They how old are them? Where are they coming from? What is their profile as a user? So all the data that we can have, of course, legal data. We're not going to be seeing any credit card numbers. All the legal data that we can have from a user is going to be here as main indicator. And of course, then we're going to be seeing domain analytics, search traffic, keywords, backlinks analytics, and social media analytics. There are plenty of tools to do that. Of course, we're going to be using SEMrush because we have all those tools as well. But you can just have the main hint here, which is you need to use data and tools to perform this analysis. Let's start with the first part. Well, actually, this is the second part, step one, which is identifying the competitors. Which one really matter? So the the first point here is to identify the direct competitors, and here you can do it. For example, I took a company that I really like, which is Schneider Electric. They are all around Europe, actually one of their clients, and they're kind of big. They are working with several countries around Europe, and of course I wanted to identify, okay, what who are their main competitors with the data that we are sharing here. And you can see that we have a growth quadrant here immediately that are that is showing us exactly who is working with whom in direct competition. And you can see there Siemens, you can see there Johnson Controls, Eaton, Emerson. So another big technological companies that are directly competing with Schneider Electric, right? We can see there 10 direct competitors. Those are the ones that are really important because they are really close to us, and we can see in the quadrant uh, different different names for each quadrant. For example, Schneider Electric is positioned in the game changers quadrant. Then we can see in the leaders we see Siemens because they are already a long time there and they are moving really well for the last decade, right? And of course we see that Eaton is also there, but they are in the established players. We have some game changers, and Schneider Electric is in the game changers section. That means that they are growing really fast. And if I'm part of this industry, I need to see who is the game changer, who is in the quadrant game changers, because those are the companies that are moving really fast. That can be at some point the leaders of the industry. They're going to be leading the rest of the companies in this industry, in this sector, and they are the ones that need to be analyzed. In this case, we are in the game changers part. Of course, direct competitors are important, but also indirect competitors. Why is that? Well, basically, we need to use data to identify, okay, who are in the second layer of competition of my industry. Maybe they are not competing with the main product of my company, with the main service of my company, but they are competing with some small parts. In this case, we can see that, okay, Schneider Electric that also have some indirect competitors, and they are small installed companies, electric installed companies that are located in different regions across Europe. So once we did that, we can already have some conclusions. The first one is, okay, you need to benchmark against your closest competitors. This is something that we can help you to understand where are you exactly, what is your position. Then the second conclusion here is you need to benchmark against the key industry players, not to take all of them, but only two, three, or top five of them that you can follow and track. And then, of course, you need to find the industry disruptors, the game changers, and not only the direct competitors, but the indirect competitors as well, because they are really important for your campaigns, for your future campaigns. Okay, what is the bad thing about competitive benchmarking? Well, it's not that easy because all the analysis that we did is very superficial. We just have the numbers of the industry players, the direct competitors. It's not only that. We need to go with the key metrics, with the KPIs for each strategy, for social media, for search. We need to see how the product is performing. We need to have all the competitive benchmarking KPIs and metrics analyzed, and that's becoming more complicated. That's the main bad thing, that we need to and analyze all those small KPIs for each processes. So that's the bad thing, but it's not the worst thing, right? So let's analyze one of the examples that I wanted to share with you, which is basically a real analysis. In this case, we're going to be following the example with Schneider Electric, se.com, and we're going to be doing the next steps: market research, search performance analysis, gap analysis, link profile, and social media traffic and activities. So this is how a competitive benchmarking should be done with the help of data. So let's start with the step number one. Well, basically, we're going to be having here the all these competitors that we saw in our first uh, in our first slide. Schneider Electric versus another 7 competitors. In this case, we're comparing the from January 2020 versus January 2021st. Okay, let's go with the results of the analysis. Step one: market research and traffic strategy analysis and analysis. And this, you can see that we need to see the benchmark with the geographical traffic distribution. We need to see the countries with the highest growth. We need to analyze the traffic trends, and of course, we need to grab the most impactful traffic sources to understand where we can go after this. Let's go with the data for using this. Basically, we are using clickstream that is provided by SEMrush. We have tons of data, about 500 terabytes of data of raw data that can be pulled with an API integration. We have data from 190 countries, 200 million panelists. In this case, the example of the people, of the users with this clickstream data, and of course 1 billion events analyzed every day. With all this information, why this is important? Basically, the more data that you have, the more chances that you're going to be doing the right analysis. So if you pick a tool set and a data provider, you just need to see how much data they can provide to you to have a better helicopter view for the benchmarking analysis. Okay, let's see the expansion. In this case, we can see that we are measuring the expansion from these 7 competitors, including search Schneider Electric, which is in the second place here. You can see that the numbers of countries that these companies are working are well, it's huge, right? Siemens is working in 22 countries, Schneider Electric in 10 countries, Eaton in 3, Johnson in 1, Emerson in 3. But this is the amount of traffic that they are receiving: over 50,000 50,000 visits per month every since January 2020 versus January 2021. So we can see here that, okay, we have the main competitors are with the traffic growth. Okay, so what we can use here as well, Basically, we can identify only the top five countries with traffic growth and identify the main traffic channels. For example, the main countries, the US for all of them. Then you can see there Mexico, then Great Britain, then Australia. Then you can see that we have India as well. And of course, we pick only those channels that are more relevant to all of them, search and direct. Then we can see other patterns of growth, for example, referral traffic or social media for some of them, and other patterns that are in the third layer, which are social and paid traffic. So the most relevant still for this industry is search and direct. So if any company wants to compete in this market, they need to do it as the market indicated. You cannot go and work in this industry going immediately with social media. Why is that? Because the users are not only there. The majority of the highest number of users are concentrated in search and direct because the whole industry is working like that. And of course, you can see the top 10 countries for the leaders in this segment. You can see here Search Schneider on the left and Siemens, the top 10 at the right, and how they are growing in different countries for the last year from January 2020 to January 2021. And here you can see the amount of growth that they have country by country. So you can see here the interest of these companies that are applying with the new users because they are doing a lot of work in search and direct traffic. They're working with their brand. They're working a lot with their marketing projects. Um, and just comparing those two countries, those two companies with the top 10 countries, we can see some similarities. They have a main market. They are working with different regions, and of course the growth is kind of similar, not for all the markets, but only for some of them. And when we are seeing the second step, we need to go to see, okay, what are the reasons to make that huge growth in the search performance. In this case, let's see the search traffic volume. We're going to see the top positions by keywords. Then we're going to be analyzing the search features. Why search features are important? Well, basically, because they are really prominent in the search results when you're searching anything on Google or in any other search engine, but Google is the dominant search engine. You will see not only the classical snippets of results, but you're going to be seeing images, right? Videos. You're going to be seeing those big boxes that are called feature snippets. You're going to be seeing answer to questions. You're going to be see different other type of results, which are called the feature snippets, which are called the SERP features. And then you can see the incrementing number of pages. If any website is increasing the number of pages, that means that they're working a lot with content. Then you can see the branding versus non-branding traffic distribution. So, are you ready for this? Let's go to see how you can, what you need to see with search traffic volume. In this case, we can do an analyze. We can analyze and do a comparison with two different competitors here. I have search Schneider Electric in the live in this the left side of my screen, and Schneider Electric, but analyzing the data from 2020 and 2021, and you can see the rest of competitors that have the same um, range in time, but different keyword proportion. And you can see the search volume that has increased just a little bit for some of them, but a lot for, let's say here, Siemens or for Emerson in the first and second place. This level of search traffic is really high in comparison with our main company, which is Schneider Electric. But we have the view of the rest of the competitors here, how their domains are performing with the traffic volume and a percentage. Not we're not using absolute numbers. Still, you can see the absolute numbers in the set of tools, but you just work with a percentage to understand how far or how close you are from your main competitors. Why we're using this period of time? Well, just as an example, we're seeing an increase. We're seeing a connection between August 20 and January 21, two new keywords appearing. We have new keywords for the most of the competitors here. We are measuring Schneider Electric, Eaton, Emerson, and Siemens, and you can see that some of them are growing together and they are finding each other in these months, in August 20 and 21. The rest of the year, the rest of the last year, you can see that they were growing separately. All of them, we have no interactions between all of them, but at some point they are competing really hard uh, with the organic traffic growth. Or they are competing with the same amount of keywords. How did keywords number increase? So we can see here again how fast and how high the keywords were growing for each of the competitors in each period of time. Why this is important? Well, basically you have the knowledge about how your how competitors are hiring a marketing team, how they are working with their agencies for marketing campaigns, or how much they're investing in organic and search results. So basically, how much the exposure they're receiving from their SEO results, and for all of them, they are not getting. For most of them, they are not getting a lot of exposure, but there are just a couple of them or three of them. First three, they have 44%. For example, Iran search Schneider Electric, they have 40% growth. Emerson, 50%. Siemens, 7% growth. The growth for some of them is really impressive. So, in case that, for example, you are seeing that your competitors they have a 40% growth, you should be asking yourself how long more for how long you're gonna be their competitors because they are getting too far from your side. So that's why this is important to analyze month by month and to understand what is happening inside. Again, we can analyze as well the traffic growth, but also the top positions changes. All the keywords are important, of course, but not all of them are relevant. That's why we are only identifying the top 10 keywords because mainly for most of the website, 20% of the keywords is the Pareto rules for keywords as well. 20% of the keywords are giving you 80% of the traffic to your website. And those 20% of keywords, they are located in the top 10 positions of Google results, which is basically logical, right? Nobody is going to the second page of Google, to the third page of Google, or to the 10th page of Google. That's why the top 10 of keywords that you have are so important. So those are the most relevant for each of the companies in the segment. Eaton here, Schneider Electric, Emerson, they are having a huge battle for those keywords in the top 10 positions and to have more bringing from the top 100 position to the top 10. So that's the competition. How many keywords you have in the top 10 to get more traffic. And of course, why do we need to see this? Well, basically, we need to analyze the top positions and do a benchmarking to all of them. So you can see that Eden, they have basically the traffic per keyword. In the top three, they have 47 keywords. In the top three, Schneider Electric, they have 19 keywords. Emerson, in the top three positions, they have only seven keywords. Those keywords can bring, as you can see, 70,000 people for Schneider Electric, 130,000 users, 142,000 users for Eden. So these keywords are really important. Imagine if you lose two keywords, you can lose 30% of your search traffic. Imagine if you lose 10 keywords, you can use 50% of your whole traffic. So that's why this is important to see what are the top 3 keywords, top 10 keywords. That's it. You need to have that information about your competitors, as you can see here. You can see the conclusions. You can see that the benchmark of keywords is really important to measure the potential risk that you're facing. If you have only one single keyword and the whole business that you're building is only related to that single keyword, that's a very risky business. So you need to diversify the keywords and how you are working with the top 10 and top 100 keywords for your website. Then let's see why it's important to have SERP features, right? As I was mentioning to you, the SERP features are also organic results that are in a form of images, videos. They can be feature snippets, as you can see here in the yellow market in yellow here. For example, electrical panel mounting height. This is a very specific search query that is giving me already the configuration, the specifics of this mounting electrical panel, right? And what is the recommended mounting height? You can see here immediately. You have all the information. That is so important for each user to not going directly to the site, do the internal search around the site, but you can see it immediately here from the Google results as a feature snippet. So that's why it's really important, because you're going to be receiving more exposure. Your brand is going to be specifically there. And one of the brilliant parts here is that if you are using um, any voice device, voice assistant, in this case, the majority have Siri, Alexa, or of course Google Home, you will receive a direct voice answer for these search queries. If you have a feature snippet, you can also have a voice search answer for the same query, which is brilliant, right? It's a win-win strategy. That's why brand awareness with the search features are so important. Then let's see the increment in gained search features, not only for the feature snippet, but for the rest of them. These companies are working really hard with search features. You are not only working for organic results anymore for the top 10. You need to work for the position 0 that are so-called the feature snippets as well. But you have also image pack, video carousel, knowledge panel, local pack, people also ask, and of course, you need to work with all these type of results. Let's see, some of the competitors are working with very specific type of search results with search features. In this case, you can see Iran is working with images all over around. Search Schneider Electric, they are working with people also ask, just grabbing user questions and creating content around them. Then you can see video carousel and knowledge pilots. The increment of acquiring, of working for such results for each of the company is really impressive, because they understand the importance of being not only in the top 10 of the list with the keywords, but they understand how important it is to have those big, prominent images, videos, knowledge panel, local pack results when someone is asking for electrical connection or to have maintenance team working for your house. Wherever you need from them, you need to have it fast. That's why these results are really important. And understanding how your competitors are working with them can help you to understand why they are succeeding, or why they are having some failures with their business goals. Then you can see here that the search features growth for each of them, comparing year over year, the growth is really significant for most of them, for the most active competitors. In this case, you see that Schneider Electric and Siemens are doing really interesting work here, but also Emerson and Eaton, They are working with video carousels, with people also ask. So the industry overall, if we're just adding all these companies for the whole view of the industry, you can see that okay, all of them are working kind of similar, but some of them are exceptional with some with specific search features. Okay, so what we can see here as well, we can see that who has more search features in January 2020, 2021, and you can see that Siemens, Eaton, Emerson, and Schneider Electric, they are working really, really hard for image pack. Images is all of them because they have products. They can do that. They have the mounting installations for electrical devices. So all of this industry is working towards image packs. So the rest of the industry, they're gonna be following these leaders uh, in the rest of in years to come. So this is how this industry is moving. For every single industry, the type of result is kind of different. In some cases, is completely different. They are not working with images. They are working for example, for SaaS companies. They're working more with reviews. They're working more with feature snippet. For fashion companies, they are working with videos, with video carousels. They are working also with feature snippet. Feature snippet. For the hospitality industry, they are working more with the local pack because they need to be founded. They are working more with reviews as well, TripAdvisor, other resources. So this is why it's so important to measure the search features that your competitors are acquiring in a specific timeline. Okay, so how we can see if our competitors are working with content and how many pieces of content they are producing in a month or in a year. So as you can see here, we can track as well the number of pages that all these competitors are creating in a certain period of time. With organic research, for example, and the search result, you can see the number of pages immediately when you put an URL there, or using a page report inside of a tool like SEMrush, for this instance, you can see the number of pages and the pages growth. If a competitor is growing the number of pages, let's say in a 20% year by year, so they are working a lot with content because they want to gain more visibility from search results, which is a brilliant strategy. That's the way that should be. But if your competitors are not working this part, that's an opportunity for you to work more with your content. So the number of pages created is also really important for this kind of analysis. And of course, oh yes, and of course, when we are talking about results, we need to differentiate them between branded and non-branded. So branded, all the search results that are including your brand name, the brand name of the company, versus non-branded search result. For example, Nike shoes, right? It's already Nike shoes for running. That's a brand search result. Non-branded is going to be only shoes for running, right? Non-branded, very easy. So branded search results are really good for acquiring, for having more exposure, for having more loyal users, which is brilliant. But for acquiring, for new user acquisition, non-branded traffic is especially more important because you're going to be having more business and you can plan to have that for years to come. So going for non-branded traffic should be your main strategy if you are already an established company. If you are not, still is really important to have. With branded traffic, you can have already your select group of users that are loyal to your brand, which is brilliant. Everybody wants to have that. But for acquiring new users, for new user acquisition, non-branded traffic is definitely the most important part. And of course, you're going to be measuring these two types of traffic um, because let me quote Rage the data from Bloomerang. He's saying that marketers from strong brands are pursuing the 60 to 40% ratio of branded and non-branded traffic because they recognize the value of long-tail visitors whose net new traffic spikes traffic by 50% or more. That depends on the industry. So 60 to 40%, branded or not branded. For other industries, the difference is more prominent. Okay, what's the ugly part of benchmarking? Right now, we did very in-depth analysis about the metrics, inside metrics, the KPIs for each of the processes, right? The ugly part is when you are doing competitive benchmarking, that's not a competitive analysis. You are not working only with local data. You're not working with those KPIs that I was showing you. You should have only the high level numbers, the high performing metrics, only the top data to understand how the industry is moving. And this is very important to identify with the periods of time. You cannot do the competitive benchmark based on a weekly base, on a daily base, or even in just a quarter base. You need to take more time. Longest periods are more important to understand the dynamics. The dynamics here are really important to get the specific view, the helicopter view of what is happening with the whole industry, where the industry is going, and how those changes are affecting the key players. So that's why competitive benchmarking is not totally competitive analysis. It includes some parts because you still need to do the analysis overall, and you're going to be just doing the whole analysis. For the report that I was showing you, we took at least 3 or 4 days to build all the data, but the most important key factors are only 5 numbers. That's the competitive benchmark, the helicopter view, the whole view of the industry, not the small details with the KPIs. They are also included them, but we are excluding them just to have the vision, the clear view of where the industry is going and where we are positioned. So that's the ugly part. You did the whole work, and you don't need the all the parts. You don't need the all the analysis. You just need some parts. But that's something that you can be working and solving with content benchmarking, which is more relevant these days. Content is the king, right? So for doing a content benchmarking, we are going to be just finding missing keywords. We're going to be spotting weak keywords of products. Let's see these new search features, opportunities, and share of voice as SEO potential metric. This is the content benchmark, and why this is important, because this is the latest and the ultimate benchmarking analysis. Most of the companies are working with content, but they don't have a content planning strategy. They don't have a content plan, and they don't have a strategy. They're just creating content because the sake of creating content. Everybody's doing that, but you can see all those specifics about, okay, which competitors are really creating relevant content and how the industry is reacting to that. Let's see, for example, the competitors that you should compare with the keyword profile. For example, with the keyword overlap, here you can see all the domains: Schneider Electric, Emerson, Siemens, and Eaton, but only some of them are competing to each other in terms of content. So they have the similar amount of keywords. They are competing with the same keywords. In this case, we can see that Schneider Electric, they are not competing with Emerson. They are not interacting with each other. They don't have anything in common, but they are interacting with the rest of the players in the industry. So when we are doing the analysis, we can see the volume of the keywords. So we're going to be going in deep to that, just to identify those top 10 keywords that are really matter for the industry, for all of them. You can see here we have Schneider Electric, Eaton, Siemens at the volume of the main keywords. For example, here you can see one keyword: transformers. Right? this is not for the movie, this is for an electrical equipment. The volume for this one is 550,000 um, visitors per month. So that's a huge keyword. You can see half a million visitors per month. And the rest of, you can see the positions for all of them. They are not working very good with this keyword, but for this, for the second one or the third one, circuit breaker, for example, Edon is doing better. They are in the top 10 results. They are in the eighth position. For the rest, you can see they have some similarities. They are not in the top 10, but they are close to that. Some of them are close to that. So which keywords does the competition rank for in on page one? That's the goal for us. So we're going to be just filtering all the keywords that we have for all those domains, and we're going to see that, okay, vacuum circuit breaker maintenance PDF. So um, the tutorial how to do that, how we're going to be working with the vacuum circuit breaker. Eton are in the first place, really important keyword for them. Siemens is in the eighth place. They are kind of getter. They are already in the first position. Schneider Electric are in position 40. They need to work really hard to have that keyword in the first page of Google. So here you already see what are the most important keywords. Just filtering the whole amount of results, and here we have around 25,000 keywords. So identifying just the most prominent is really, really important. No matter if the volume is low, but the positioning is also very important because those keywords are going to be bringing you new businesses. Then you can see again with the content analysis, content gap, keyword gap, how you can select all the keywords that are relevant and just export it into an Excel file and work with them month by month to see which keywords were the most important for every single month. Analyzing all of that will give you the whole image about, okay, the most of the keywords that are in the top 10 positioning are the ones that are getting search features, are the ones that they are beating with ads budget. They are ones that are creating more questions to the users, so you can create the market of search features for each company, as I was doing in the previous analysis. With all of that information, taking API with your best data provider, you can have all the information about your positioning with search features. And of course, that is really important to build the share of voice. So share of voice is a measure of the market uh, your brand owns compared to your competitors. That big chunk of market, that share of market that you have, uh, that is coming from your own keywords. So this is really important to understand. Okay, what is going to be happening the next quarter, the next couple of quarters, the next year with your market? If you have less share of voice, or if you have more share of voice than your competitors, you're going to be growing, or you're going to be just being stagnated in the same level, what is going to be happening to you? So that's why it's really important to understand the search feature opportunities that you have there. And of course, link profile analysis. You need to benchmark the link profile, each of your competitors, and find missing referral traffic opportunities. Maybe your competitors are receiving tons of traffic from two sources, right? You need to have those two sources. That's why we need to analyze what is the referral traffic for the whole market, and competitor by competitors. You can analyze the traffic for the referral traffic for the whole market using data as well, and working with each of the sources of referral traffic for each of the competitors. Doing that will lead you to understand, okay, how you can partner, or with whom you should partner for acquiring most of the referral traffic. And also, it's really important to understand the backlink profile, how many backlinks you have. Of course, huge companies, they have thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of backlinks, but only a piece of them, really small portion of them, they are bringing you new business. They are bringing you new users. That's why it's important to understand the benchmarking of your link profile. Referrals, the quality of them is also important to understand. They are related to your business. So the categories of all those backlinks is important. They are business and industrial, internet, telecom, computer electronics. If they are outside of these industry categories, those referrals are not relevant to you and they are not relevant for your competitors. It was interesting to see for some of the competitors of Schneider Electric that they had also as top categories tourism or fashion and entertainment, which are not included in the whole industry, as you can see here: business and industrial, internet, telecom, computer and electronic, or web design and development, for example. So the backlink profile that you have needs to be really, really clean for the industry referral traffic overall. And of course, at the last point, social media analysis. It's important, right? Remember the last presentation that we have today? Of course, the audience growth, the activity growth, the engagement growth is really important. The content, the pieces that you are providing, that you are publishing, is really important. Measuring that, doing a benchmarking with your competitors will give you a real view of how they are working with their community. Top five domains in this industry that are working with social media. Are corporates working with social media? Yes, they are, and they are growing a lot with social media. They are receiving a lot of traffic from social media, and of course, the activity is growing a lot for very specific platforms. In this case, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. They are working a lot there. You can see for with some companies the growth that they have for the last 30 days. Imagine for the last year is around 150% growth month by month in the activity growth, in the audience growth also, and the engagement growth for some of them is really, really huge, really prominent, uh, relevant for the industry. So
Hey,
key metrics.
Fernando, real quick, let's wrap up in the next 5 minutes if it's okay.
Sure, I just have two more slides.
You got it.
Well, thank you very much. So, analyzing all these aspects with the audience, for example, with the key metrics for social media, will give you that idea of being part of the industry, not only for the perspective of search or content or just referral traffic, but social traffic as a whole is really important because right now we are all online. And of course, working with different types of content in social media, like photo, links, videos, is also a thing that you need to measure. Something that is really interesting to see is the engaging pieces of content that your competitor has as a as the best performer and the worst performer for all of them. And you can see that the engagement benchmarking with for all of them as a whole should be part of your benchmarking. So today we saw a lot of numbers, a lot of metrics, but that's how the competitive benchmarking should be done. Obviously, we need to use data sets to provide more specifics. And the main takeaways, of course, in our research here on the global level, we see that all the challenges that, for example, our example here, Schneider Electric, they have search channel as the main one, but the competitors are using social media, they are using referral traffic, and they need to work more with direct traffic. So we need to take the insights and take some conclusions there. So they need to consider other channels as well, not only with one single channel. Data tools will help you, and definitely they're gonna give you the macro view, the helicopter view for a detailed competitive benchmarking that all your teams, the marketing team, sales team, the analytics team, the C level will gonna be using to understand how they're gonna be planning for the next year. And of course, keep tracking of your results is part of your competitive benchmarking. So main benefits help you to get an accurate idea of marketing trends, close the gaps, and streamline the marketing processes to outrank your competitors. That's why it's so important to understand the good, the bad, and the ugly of competitive benchmarking. Hope everything was useful. thank you very much for joining me. And if we have some time for the questions, I'm really happy to start with them.
We can jump to the next session as well, but I got two questions here for you. How do we get more SERP for our websites? Any suggestions?
Well, basically, you need to work with the format of the serve features. If you have a questions, you need to work with question keywords, analyzing. Okay, I have the how to open a bank account, let's say for the fintech business, and then you need to work with the specific amount of words, not more than 42 words or 246 characters to have that specific to have the chance to be on that specific box, for example. And then you need to work with the links, you need to work with the rankings. If you want to have a search feature, you need to have at least in the top 10 results. That's why if you already have keywords in the top 10 results, you can acquire search features just working with the structure of the content with for the specific search feature. For images, just have the alt text there with also the specifics of the image. Most of the e-commerce businesses, they don't have alt text in their products. So structure of the content.
So, second question Sanjay had, to get SERP snippet results on top of Google, does a company need to elaborate with Google to get such result to increase their traffic?
No, definitely not. You need to work that as an organic result, which is basically based on the relevancy of the content and in the top performance, the top pages that you have. You have a keywords in the top three results. Brilliant. You need to modify that result. I know it's kind of risky, right? But to gather this type of result, the search features or the feature snippet, which is the most important one, you need to work with the format of the content. You need to have the H1 with only 10 words, maximum of 46 characters. Then you need to work with the body of the text, which is this 46 words that I mentioned before, and have the images with the alt text. Of course, the main header needs to be a question keyword or a very specific long tail keyword. So again, it's about the format of the content. It's not about paying to Google or working with them.
Fernando, it's a lot of information.
I
Fantastic
know,
again.
I know.
It's a lot. It's good. It's great though. It's continues to change and it's updated information every time I hear you speak. So Fernando, thank you so much for joining us on on Digicon and you have a wonderful rest of your day.